What's happening, fam? L.A.R movement still moving. Um, Dating and colorism. I like black women. Date black women. Dated black women from the U.S., islands to Africa. You know, but over the years, colorism has become an increasing problem in my experience. Uh, Dealing with from dark skinned chicks to light skinned chicks. Now, brown chicks in the middle are kind of relative, subjective because if they're brown, they could be um, the darkest in their family or friend or friend circle, or the lightest in their family or friend circle, and so you get like a mixed bag of how I've seen dark skinned chicks, some of the things I've seen as a group and that I've dated, the group that I've dated or whatever, and the group of light skinned chicks that I've dated. So it's like a mixed bag when you're in the middle. So I'm gonna just use dark and light. So when you go to brown, you could just mix and match anything, and that seems how it pops up to me. Now, as far as the colorism thing goes, my personal preference, I like dark skinned chicks, but I do have, but my experiences with dark skinned chicks have their peaks and valleys, just like my experiences with light skinned chicks have their peaks and valleys. Now, over time, some things disturb me. Like over time, it seems that more and more dark-skinned chicks. I'm gonna start with dark-skinned chicks. I might flip-flop from one or the other. I don't know. Dark-skinned chicks are the more. It seem like they don't. Dark-skinned chicks seem like they don't like dating dark-skinned men now, and light-skinned chicks seem like they do. When I compare the two, like it's easier for me to talk to not a dark-skinned woman, but it's easier for me to talk to a light-skinned woman and have less issues and hang-ups than it is for me to talk to a dark-skinned woman. I'm not sure if it's like a subliminal thing where she don't want to have no dark-skinned babies. I don't know if she's looking at me in that way. I really don't. But I noticed that even when I'm out, like you'll see somebody dark with somebody light with somebody dark. It's the same type shit. You might see two brown people together. Just like I got light-skinned female friends who I've dated. Some of them don't like light-skinned men. They're not the color for them. So it may be the same thing, right? Between the two, I would say dark skinned chicks, light skinned chicks are the more dainty of the two. And the more feminine. And maybe because they are allowed to be feminine because of the beauty standard. But at the same time, dark skinned chicks are probably the more realistic, the more practical people because they deal with society, or society deals with them in a way that's closer to how society deals with us black men. So even though as a woman they may have their own female issues, they can relate to us better. So just because the one's dainty don't necessarily mean she may not understand sometimes because she doesn't have to deal with the press of oppression like darker women and black men in general. As far as dating goes, when I'm with a dark skinned woman, I notice that lighter skinned women would jump in the mix at times as if they have a shot and they can take me away from her. And sometimes I look at it as if because she's dark that you're trying to pull this shit because this is some disrespectful shit, right? Black men really don't have no issue when I'm dating a dark skinned chick. And by the way, like from and dark to light, they were all bad. They all fine, like fine. So, you know, yeah, it's fine. Anyway, but when I'm dating a dark skinned chick, I notice white guys like to interject. They try to be slick and interject their ass in it. Hi, how you doing? I'm like, I'm about to beat the shit out this clown. I mean, white guys or non-black guys, whatever. And white women in particular like to tell her she's beautiful. I mean, sometimes I think that's just a play because she's tired of white guys approaching her, so she want to let her know that she's beautiful. But as long as she's with me, you know, keep the white guys at bay to a degree. Now the situation is flip flop when I date light skinned chicks. Uh, White women completely ignored. Um, White men don't want it. Black men, that's who they start hating. Like if you know, they were like they feel like, oh, let me see if I can holler at her. You know, like, oh, here y'all go on this dumb shit. See, this is how people get their ass whipped with guys. Normally, it's that type of shit. Dark skinned women, they get a little catty, you know, like, why he with that light bitch, you know. But for the most part, they really just chill and observe. That's just been my experience. Um, Beauty, like I said, my preference is dark skinned women because beauty aspect, dark to light, I think beautiful women are beautiful. Like, but if all things being equal, I would usually say the dark skinned woman is probably the more attractive because her skin, it lasts longer. It you know, as those people say, black don't crack. Like if you take care of yourself, a dark skinned woman could be beautiful for a very, very long time. I got some friends, ooh, and if they tell you how old they were, you'd be like, shit. Now light skinned women, yeah, they age well too, but you can tell the signs of aging earlier. So I think though dark skinned women aren't appreciated for their beauty, you know, for the most part, they do last the test of time longer than lighter women. But when dating them, you have to keep reaffirming that. Light skinned women, it's like everybody must want them to hit on them, you know, because their confidence level is higher as in a group. It's just it is. Like, you know, a dark skinned woman, she might not believe you when you tell her she's beautiful. A light skinned woman be like, oh yeah, I know, I done heard that about 2,000 times just yesterday. So it's like it's a difference. Uh, when I've even going back to when I was talking about the dating part, when I was being dark, if I tell a dark skinned woman she's beautiful, she's gonna give me like, eh. But if a non-black man tell her she's beautiful, she gonna be like, for real? I never like that. It doesn't. But when light skinned chicks, it don't work that way. It don't work that way. Cause they like, fuck you. Just on, you know what I mean. Some people are, I ain't gonna say they always like fuck you, but for the most part, they don't. They're like whatever. And it may be just because they get approached more anyways, but they don't, they don't need the confidence boost. Don't do nothing for them in that aspect. At least in my experience. Um, Another thing that stands out for the most part is even dark skinned women are more of a realist because of the way society treats dark skinned women. So the shit that women do that men don't like in general, they got to cut that shit out earlier than light skinned women. So they become realists earlier. They sometimes they undervalue themselves because of this, and light skinned chicks on the opposite end of that spectrum. Sometimes they overvalue themselves. So and it's relative sometimes to to people, but that's just the way I'm gonna say it right now. Um, don't really want to say this, but I've said so much anyways. Um, Light skinned chicks are more aloof to me, and I think it's because they're lighter, they may get approached more, or they may be close to the European beauty standard or something. They think they got options like that. Like dating a light skinned chick was difficult all the times because in that aspect because she always felt like everybody wants me. I'm like, okay, you're 25, everybody wants you. Okay, you're 30, everybody wants you. Okay, you're 35. Don't keep thinking everybody wants your ass. They want the younger ones now because they let that window just that door of opportunity of marriage and kids just go right by them, and they be like, well, I'm light and I'm still pretty and I can just do this shit forever. No, you can't, baby. No, you can't. Dark skinned women, like I said, they're more realistic, with that. Unfortunately, because I'm dark skinned, like I said before with the colorism thing, I've seen them do that, be more realistic with lighter guys than I have darker guys. For the darker guy, you know what? I'm busy. I got things to do. I just can't. I'm doing push-ups this evening. I just can't be bothered. The, when it comes to cultivating a relationship, I would say that dark-skinned girls weren't really willing to put in that kind of work, and I think it was because of colorism. Light-skinned girls didn't have no problem. Like, let's do some things. Let's have some fun. I'm calling you, you calling me. Let's go out. Let's go. Dark-skinned chicks, I had to chase them over and over. And the sad part about that is, uh, most of the women in general, they liked me after it was over, whether they're light or dark. Dang, they liked me more, I would say, after it was over. Now, part of this could be, like I would say this about myself. I'm not that dude. You know, I got family and friends that girls just love them. So some of them, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck y'all saying them, but they just got that certain je ne sais quoi, right? I ain't got that shit. So, so all I'm saying about that is, in my experience, even without that certain something, this has been my experience. Um, I think it may be different when it comes to complexion because I think, if I was a light skinned guy talking, it'd be a different story. If I was a dark skinned woman, I think it'd be a different story. If I was a light skinned woman, it'd be a different story. And that's why I said it's dating and colorism. Um, I might have forgot a few things, but just get back with me. Tell me what you think.